Hi, my name's Sarah. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making wraps from scratch. They're so easy and you can use them to impress your friends or family or just have a really tasty meal. You can use them for all sorts of different things. You can use them just as wraps with ham or salad or anything like that. You can use them for burritos. You can toast them up really crispy and use them with dip as more of a tapas style meal. You can even use them as pizza bases if you like a real thin base with lots of topping. But today we're going to turn them into tacos. Some prawn tacos. Let's get started on our wraps. So simple. 3 cups of plain flour, a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/3 cup of oil. Today I'm using sunflower oil. Mix that in. Let's get it mixing around. A cup of warm water. You don't want this too hot. And just get that dough happening. The best thing about it being so simple is it's still impressive to make your own wraps from scratch to your family and friends, and they don't have to know how easy it is to do. So you form that into a dough. Get it all out of there. Then you give it a bit of a knead, make sure it's all come together and mixed through well. Should flour your bench for this part as it's a little bit sticky, but we'll definitely flour it before we actually go to roll out our wraps. So then when you've got your dough together, you just section it out in whatever size you want. It makes about 16, this mix makes about 16 regular size wraps. Today, because we're going with the prawn tacos, I want to make mini prawn tacos, so we'll make quite a few out of this batch. And you just section it out into all your different sizes, all your different pieces. You get each piece, you roll it up and flatten it out with the palm of your hand. Do that with all your pieces. So all these other ones have had 15 minutes or so to rest. Just flour your bench. I'll just show you how easy they are to roll out once they've had that resting time, and how thin you can get them. Make sure you flour your bench well, so they can stick. And you can see how thin. I've got that one already. And then just put it to the side, grab the next one, flour him up, and go again. If you want to have perfect circles, you can always roll out the dough and cut them into circles before you cook them in the pan. So I'll finish rolling out all of these and then meet you at the stove to cook them up. Cooking them up now, we've got a medium to high heat going in the pan. I'll just throw that one in there and you can see how quick it is to cook. I made about 30 mini taco wraps in that mix. It took me about 10 minutes to roll them all out. We've got a plastic bag here, just like a freezer bag's fine, just for you to put the wraps in once they're cooked. You want them to they can just sit on top of each other. They're not going to stick once they're cooked, but you just don't want all the moisture getting out of them, so they've still got that elasticity to roll up. Now you see that the bubbles are already forming up. That's what you're looking for. Once the bubbles are formed up, you should be able to turn it. And you can see some of those bubbles have just got nicely brown, just a small bit. That's exactly what you want. You want it to be cooked through, but yeah, you don't want that the whole way around, or else you're not going to find that elasticity. It only takes a couple of seconds on the other side, and then it's cooked. And you can see that it's still elastic enough to roll up. Now they will, like I said, firm up further. So that's why you keep them in there. Keep them in their plastic bag, and they should hold their moisture. While you're cooking them, you'll notice that some of the flour we used to roll them out will come out into the pan. That's fine, but just give it a bit of a wipe out every once in a while, so you've got the fresh pan and that flour isn't burning into the bottom of the pan and then going into your wraps. Okay, so all those wraps are cooked up. They took about 15 minutes to cook. Now we're going to make a quick corn and bean salsa to go with the prawn tacos. The salsa you can do up beforehand. The wraps you can do up beforehand. You can do it up to probably a day beforehand to still have that real freshness to it. The prawns we'll do later. So just throw in a can of drained bean mix, whichever one you prefer. I've just got the 4 bean here. You can go just a red kidney, whatever you like. A seeded tomato, seeded and chopped tomato, about 3/4 cup of corn. Today I've just used the frozen corn and let it defrost as I've been getting everything else organised. You could use just a can and drain that as well. 3 spring onions, just chopped up. Half an avocado, again just chopped up. This one's a bit overripe, so it's a bit softer than a more ripe one. The juice and zest of a small lemon. I just want to mix that all together. It looks so bright. Such a good thing to have on the table when everyone's making their own tacos. It just looks fantastic. Now I know some people out there like coriander. I personally do not at all, not one bit. But if you were so inclined, you could add coriander to this. I'm just going to season it with some salt, a good pinch of salt, and some cracked pepper. And then that's your salsa, done. So easy. Okay, so now we're going to do the prawns. Just keep them really simple. They're nice and tasty when they're fresh. I've just got the raw baby prawns, the peeled ones, just to make it easy again. Salt and pepper's in there. I like some garlic on mine. My husband likes a lot of garlic on his, so it's about 2 big teaspoons of garlic in there. Sorry. Some paprika. I really like the flavour of paprika, so putting that in too. Just mix it around. Have the pan on nice and hot again. And when it's all mixed in, just throw it straight in the pan. You should be able to hear that sizzle. Don't overcrowd the pan. This should be fine in this pan, just because it's a big one, but you don't want to overcrowd your pan when you're cooking seafood. You don't want it to sweat, you want it to fry up quickly. Actually, I may have overcrowded it just a touch myself. It'll be alright, we'll get this cooking. These have cooked up nicely, they've got that colour to them. You don't want to overcook them, you want them to still be nice and juicy. So we'll get them out of there and put them on our plate. Got some lemon wedges to serve with them. You see there's a lot of juice in my pan, and that's simply because I didn't have the pan hot enough when I put the prawns in there, and so they have steamed a little bit in that pan instead of frying up quite as much. You would have much less liquid sitting in the pan if you had it at the correct temperature. We'll serve all these up on the plate. I'll wash some lettuce, tear that up, put some sour cream out and get the wraps out all ready to serve. And then I'll show you how to put one together. There we have your meal complete. So we just grab a wrap, put a bit of sour cream on there, bit of lettuce, some of that delicious salsa, those prawns, squeeze of lemon, and your prawn taco is finished. Our wraps are finished now. Let's have a taste. So much fresher, tastier. You can't beat making things from scratch. It just makes it that much better. I hope your friends and family enjoy this dish, and I hope to see what else you make with your wraps.